Yeah, no, I mean, there's so many options, so many pathways. Whereas many years ago, it's like you had to get a publisher to fund your
Yeah,
game. Or
like when I started the company, I was like, well, I worked at a publisher. I guess I better call the publishers and see who's going to give me money.
The fundamental problem with the old guard and the way that they would operate would be like the whole the movie executive who goes to Comic-Con and says, "Oh, Twilight, we need one of those."
Yeah.
A lot of the executives there are people who they have stock portfolios, and so they treat it like that. Oh, I need a racing game, I need a fighting game, I need a medieval game, I need that, I need one of those, and it's like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You find a talented team and you bet on them, as AKA Respawn, who continue to just crush it, and surprise. The random plumber who's coming to my house is like, "Oh, you like video games? Right. Call of Duty's over. It's all about that Titanfall thing now, right?" And then they're going to do it again.
Random plumbers in the now.
Yeah, well, that's
anecdotal
evidence, of course, but I'm just happy they're killing it because they deserve to.
It's amazing to think about, the whole kind of conversation is about opportunity, and you look at so Infamous coming out this week or last week, one of the more next-gen looking games I've seen, one of the more exciting games. How big is Sucker Punch? Maybe 90 people or so. Titanfall, made by Respawn, 80 people or so. Dark Souls 2, 85 people or so. That's a drastic shift from what we're being told on a lot of the AAA side, which is 600, 700, 800. And these games are quality and caliber scale. There's no difference between an Assassin's Creed and a Titanfall other than focus, really.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I look at it, Tim's 50 some odd or something. We're 20 some odd, and these all seem like.
Don't talk about
my age or my employee count.
Both. They kind of correlate.
Older.
You hire one person a year on your birthday every year.
60. He's 60.
So seeing those scales, we feel really large amongst the kind of tiny studios, and Tim's kind of extra large amongst the small studios.
Okay, first old and then fat. Okay, let's go after my teeth next.
Yeah, they're actually beautiful.
Thanks.
I attack the old school adventure game. It calls you fat.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry.
No,
we just punked. Am I unpunked?
We have so many there's so many different scales of studios now, and they all kind of function in interesting and totally viable ways. And you think about that 5 years ago, 3 years ago, that was not at all the case.
And it feels like, there's a lot of success that can come out of that, too. It's like, not every game everyone puts out is extraordinarily profitable or, necessarily even critically lauded, but, it feels like now everyone's found models that, can sort of work, and it's like...
It's amazing to hear,
Humble, all the stuff you do, Humble Bundles or, Amnesia, Fortnite, all that stuff, it seems like there's an audience for that.
Yeah, because if you stop looking at it in terms of how do I make this, like a large company will look at an investment what's a maximum return on my investment for this money, and anything less than that can't be made. So it has to be like a license or a sequel or something like that. But a lot of people are looking at just can I sell enough to make the games I want to make, to chase my ideas and have an inspiration and follow it. And there's and you find out there is tons of players out there and money out there to make all those different models work.
The problem is the old guard. It's kind of like Hollywood. Sometimes they need to have. They're looking for a magic formula, and there is none. They mitigate risk by attaching an established IP or
Even I'm sure a lot of people will be like, "Hey, we'd love to have Cliff come build Gears of War for us."
No, it's just I will never work on somebody else's IP. I love building new IP. I love the universes that are coming out of these studios, and that everything starts somewhere. Even though Assassin's Creed is huge now, it originally started as Prince of Persia game.
Yeah, National Prince of Persia.
And eventually, Patrice was like, no, this needs to be a new thing. And lo and behold, as opposed to wearing out Prince of Persia, now you have, this huge IP. And everything has to start somewhere. And some executive with, intestinal fortitude needs to stand up and be like, no, we're betting on something new and we're taking a risk. Because that's where it all comes from.
And it seems like, you're going through this now, Cliff, but the publishers, they are willing to invest in big ideas too, with established people and established teams.
They are, but just it has to be done right. And you need, if you get a publishing partner, they need to understand the new world order of why good free to play works and there's bad free to play, going direct to consumer, and as not having some sort of a marketing or PR person telling you can't talk to your consumers directly. It's the same thing on Twitter. People don't want fake corporations, and the corporate accounts that are run best are the ones that are playful, like Taco Bell getting a fake fight with McDonald's or something, right? That's the stuff people want. They want real people.
All right, well, when we come back on the bonus round, we're going to talk more about where games are going in the future.